Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, September 26, 2022. Woo, it's all about Diane. I'm going to spend, the majority of my time. I will mention the other things that happened, but Diane was found by Alexis and Gregory. They decided, Alexis is back on that. She's going to write a letter to the serial killer kick again. And they decide to go to what's Brando's garage to see if maybe, employees were there, even though I never saw an employee at Brando's garage, but okay, to see if there were employees there that they could talk to. So of course they get there and the garage door is open. And Gregory's like, okay, why is his door open? And she's like, probably an employee is working. And he goes, with the crime that's going on now and leaving the door open, I have a bad feeling about this. So she goes, look, it's a garage. Let's go in. She goes in, and what do we see? We see, first the show opens with Diane bleeding out on the garage floor. And then when they go in, Alexis and Gregory, there's Dex trying to stop the bleeding. Again, Dex is trying to stop the bleeding. He had already called 911 and he asked for help. And Gregory ends up coming over, trying to help, but I don't really know that Gregory really helped. But, the ambulance come, they get her to GH. Before Alexis had arrived earlier in the show, Diane, Finn said, okay, he was able to isolate the reptile poison and it was being sent to the hospital so that he could create the antidote. So after Diane was brought in, Finn had gotten a text that the reptile venom had arrived, and he says, okay, I have to get to work. I have to synthesize, a anti-vaccine, antitoxin to it, so antidote, so that when they were ready to administer it to Diane, right after they repair what had happened to her, because they ran a tox report immediately on her. And yes, the hook was laced with the same poisonous venom. So I am confident and happy that Diane is going to make it. Okay, she may be touch and go, but unlike Brando, they did not know Brando had been poisoned. So they didn't know what to look for. Well, they knew what to look for. They ran the test. Finn is going to, make the antidote. So we all know Diane is going to pull through. Thank goodness, because that would have been just needless. But I don't know. Dex didn't answer any questions because he goes, my boss taught me not to answer questions without a lawyer. Where was Dex when Diane was in the back room? See, where did Dex go to allow, if the killer was not him? But I honestly don't. Now it's like, okay, if he were the hook serial killer, he would have let Diane die, I would think. He would not have called 911 as he's trying to put pressure on the wound. So it's like Dex is obvious, but it's like, no, it's too obvious. I mean, it's too coincident. He would not help save these people. It's because of him Ava's alive. Because of him, pretty much Diane is going to be alive. So I don't know where they're going with that, but we all know, bottom line, Esme, everybody, see, they're not, the police are all on the wrong track. Like Robert Scorpio at the end of General Hospital, he was saying, all three victims have one person in common, and that's Sonny Corinthos. Well, no, they don't. Because Brando was at the wrong place at the wrong time. They were after Jocelyn. It would have been Ava, Jocelyn, and Diane. Esme hated Ava. Esme hated Jocelyn, and Esme hated Diane for what she did to her on the stand. So that's interesting. Now, the rest of the episode was, here and there, wasn't too much of anything. We have Valentine and Anna finally, making love after all these years. Valentine has had a thing for Anna and or her sister Alex, right? But Anna for all of these years, and he's finally getting ready to get it. So anyway, that we had a bunch of scenes with them talking leading up to this. And then we had an interesting scene with Nicholas. Nicholas decides he's going to put his fate in Ava's hands to prove this valiant gesture, right? He writes a confession note that he killed Esme, pushed her over the parapet, and this is what, blah, blah, blah. So Ava's like, look, things can be forged or alleged forged when it's time to use them. She goes, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to record you reading this confession, because this way they know it is you, it is your voice, and you mean this. And he does. And she is actually touched by it. She really is. Ava is softening towards Nicholas because, for one, we already know the conversation she had with Nina. She still loves him. And she does want to go back to Spoon Island. So that's exactly what she's going to do. And she's going to go back. At first, she's going to say, look, I'm going to stay in my room. You stay in your room, the whole song and dance until they get back together again. So I'm actually happy Spencer is in Pentonville, because Spencer's out of danger right now, because we both know Esme is, Spencer's on her short list as well. So we also had wasted scenes with Robert, Mac, and Felicia earlier at the Metro Court, and Cody's there waiting for his date for Britt. And Mac can't not look at, stop staring at Cody. And Cody is wondering what is going on. Why is he looking at me like this? And oh my goodness. And Robert is also trying to figure out what's going on with you, what, and Mac is so vague, and Felicia's looking at him like, tell him what is going on. And of course, Mac doesn't tell him anything, at all. So still leaving Robert wondering as to what is happening. But anyway, Mac gets notice that there was another stabbing at Brando's garage. So Mac is going to head over there. Robert says, I'm going to go to the hospital and wait for the victim to arrive. So Robert heads to GH. Mac goes to the garage, and Felicia says, I'll stay here. I'll just get a car, Uber home. So she decides, of course, she's got to go over. She's got to talk to Cody. She's got to, make these comments. And Britt's thinking, what's happening here? So at the end, he's like, well, why is he so interested in me? And blah, blah, blah. So Felicia says, look, it's not my story to tell. But if you really want to know the answers, here is Chief Scorpio's personal cell phone number. Call him. But make sure you are ready to hear the answers. So she leaves the number. She wrote it on a napkin, left it with him, and she left. So initially he was walking away from the bar, and the bartender says, hey, here's a napkin with the phone number. Do you want it? And he looked at it. First he's going to say no, but then he goes, yeah, I want it. And he took it. So eventually we know that he and Mac are going to talk. They are going to talk. So at least, look, Cody can't be blamed for the stabbing this time, because he was right there at the Metro Court, And Max was there with him. Mac was there with him too. So anyway, let's go to comment corner. I was just relieved that we didn't get bad news where Diane was concerned. And I'm relieved that Alexis got there in time. So comments, we have Susan did a great recap of today's show. So if you wanted to get a full recap, go to the comments, read Susan's comment. Excellent comment, Susan. Then we have LaShunta. She was mad because she goes, I'm mad because I like Mac, but his tone of voice she doesn't like. He could have asked Dex. He was rude. Well, you know, Dex has been at every scene of every crime, right? The fingers pointing at Dex, but it's not him now. I really don't think it's him. But you know what? Goodness, I don't know where they're going with this. Alexis will make things worse. She will with that article. Sonny will feel some kind of way because, yeah, for one, he knows he said mean things to Diane, except he and Diane kind of came to terms. The ice was breaking where Diane was concerned, and she knew that Sonny was softening up towards her. This Chemo Beauty says, I'm believing more and more the attacker is Esme, me too. These are all victims she has it in for. Brando was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, yet the hook was meant for Joss and it had poison on it. Esme has already proven she's a sneaky stalker. Yes, she is. So if I'm correct, she'll want Josh, Trina, Spencer, but Spencer's in prison, so he's safe right now, for now. Ava will probably go back to Nicholas, and Esme will probably return pregnant. We'll see, because you know what, we're not seeing the belly of the hook yet, although she wouldn't even be 3 months, so she wouldn't be showing that much. Squawky Squeaker says, I'm thinking Victor may be doing the tarot cards and making Drew to be the killer. Yeah, but the killer is not tall. Drew Kane is a very, very tall. Very tall. Sheila says, I think Nicholas was actually Ava's brother's Lucas. Yeah, Lucas was actually Ava's brother's biological son. Yes. Lucas was the son of Julian Jerome. And Bobby adopted Lucas. Yes. Sheila says, or it's Esme's brother or foster brother, Rory. Oh, I guess Rory's a foster brother now. Okay. Trina's new boyfriend, that's possibly the hook killer. I don't think Rory is the hook killer. And hello there says another thought. Another thought. I know I'm going to get a dirty look for this one, and I'm not totally sold on it. What about Willow? It is not Willow. Willow could barely make it from the gatehouse to the main house without passing out. The hooker is not Willow. She does not have enough strength. She says, I've been hearing people say the killer is small, petite, and looks pregnant even. No, but I've never heard that, because we haven't had that good of a glimpse of the killer. They have a trench coat on, so, and it's just definitely not gonna be Willow. Absolutely, positively not. Vivian says, I'm right along with you. If they kill her, I'm not going to watch the show anymore. She's talking about Diane. And then Nina says, BJ is Tanya and Tony's kid. Yes. Ron says, taking Diane out makes no sense. If the writers do that, a lot of people will be pissed. I know. And I'm one of them. But it looks like, okay, Diane is going to pull through. Treasure Island says BJ's mother was her best friend who died during childbirth after asking Bobby to be BJ's godmother and to look after her husband, Dr. Tony Jones. Lucas is biochild of Robert and Cheryl. Well, actually, it was Julian was Lucas's father. There was a big custody battle. But Julian, it didn't come out that Julian was his father till Julian came back on the show. So I guess the big custody battle could have been through that. Cheryl's sister Tiffany and Bobby, and it turned out that Julian Jerome was the father. Yes. Carly is Bobby's only biological child. Okay, good history. Robin says, no, Nicholas gives up something big that gets Ava to come back to him. Richard said, another great review, Daily Recap lady. I agree with you about Diane being all right. After her encounter with the hook, yeah, she's going to be. I'm confident. I could sleep well tonight because I'm that confident. Anna Rihanna says, I believe it's Dex, my pick from the beginning. Michael said that he hired him for his past beyond his military problems. Yeah. So there is something off about him. That's for sure. There is something off about him. And yes, I'm with you. I'll be really mad if they kill Diane off. Anna Rihanna also says, I hope Diane isn't next. Well, yeah, Diane was next. This comment was from 2 days ago, from Friday. Have a great weekend. Michael says, I don't think Diane will make it according to the spoilers. Diane better make it. Okay. When she came on today, oh yeah, she was talking to Alexis, she was talking to Sunny, but that wasn't her life flashing before her eyes, because they would have did a much better tribute for Diane because of the years she's been on General Hospital, for the years. Susan says, I hope Finn can save her. Then she takes a break. The actress Carolyn Hensley is going to work on a project. I hope she'll get a chance to come back. Yeah, Diane, she's a writer. I know that. I know she's an author because years ago she wrote a book, and I think she may do Broadway singing too, but for sure she's an author, and she went on a tour. Diane was gone for quite a while, but that's when we also had Alexis as Port Charles's leading attorney as well. So pretty much all the cases went to Alexis, and you didn't really notice Diane being gone. But it was really, really good when they had her back, because I do love it when she comes back and reprises her role. But she does have a life outside of General Hospital, because Diane is only shown when she's needed. And when nobody's in legal trouble and needs her, she's gone, right? So look, the way it's turning out, Martin, who we can't seem to keep on the show for too long, because he definitely loves his vacations with Jeannie Francis. And I don't mean with Jeannie Francis. I mean, Jeannie Francis historically has always taken summers off for years, right? So I guess so is the actor that's playing Martin, ex-Tad. He has his vacations too, but he'll be back. And then we have Casey says Sonny told Dex to lock up. Oh, did he? And hello, I think it's too obvious. Frankly, if he turns out to be the killer, I could care less. Yeah, I don't think that Dex is, it's going to be the killer, but we don't know. Sonny told Dex to wait for Miss till she finishes and locks up. So Dex was supposed to keep an eye out. Dex would have to make sure that Diane wasn't in the garage before he locked up. Sonny will be asking Dex where he was unless he got locked out by the hooker. Well, unfortunately, that door was always open. You know, the door to the garage, that thing was left wide open. But yes, it's wait until Sonny finds out. He's gonna be mad at him. Dex is gonna have a lot to answer for that. And hello there made a joke. She said the killer is Violet. LOL. That's a joke. Medora says, good eye. I think it's either Esme or Rory. It's not Rory. And Sandy Moon says, no, not Diane. Please don't kill off Diane. Her attacker is small, but Diane can uh smaller than Diane. I can only think of Liz. Dex is too obvious. Liz is going through some troubles, but I really don't think the killer is going to be Elizabeth. I just don't. They're not going to make her character go that way. Yeah, I don't think they're going to have Elizabeth Weber go out like that. Lisa says, still could be Esme. Where is Dex? Wasn't he in front? I know. I think you're right that it's something going on with Dex. And has anyone thought about Cody possibly? No. See, Cody had an alibi today. We're watching him today. Joseph said this writer doesn't know what I guess they're doing. Just the innocent ones getting hurt, and I'm getting pissed off. Yeah, we've got some innocent Brando. Ava's not innocent, but she was innocently drunk at the boathouse, and definitely innocent Diane. So but you know what? The other serial killer, back when Georgie was killed, Georgie was an innocent, you know, because actually that text that Georgie went to was actually for Maxie to be lured out there. But Georgie went instead, and I was absolutely shocked that they killed Georgie. Georgie was one of the good ones, you know, of those teens. She was a good teen. She really, really was. And Georgie loved Dylan. Anybody remember Dylan? Dylan's a Quartermain, Tracy Quartermain's youngest son, who now is on The Bold and the Beautiful as Liam Spencer. But yeah, I loved when Dylan was on the show. So anyway, that is Comment Corners. Thank you so much for those comments. I think, keeping my fingers crossed, we can just breathe a sigh of relief for Diane, because once again, Dr. Finn is on the case. Dr. Finn found out the toxin and he's making the antidote. So I'm really, really happy about that. I'll be back tomorrow for tomorrow's daily recap of General Hospital.